Process.
Everything.
Process is
Everything.
Process.
process
Everything. Everything.
is process everything.
Everything. Process is everything.
What's the innovative State of the Union?
Yeah.
Our State of the Union is improving the lives of seniors by preventing them from going to a nursing home and keeping them safe in their home or community as long as possible.
So how'd y'all get started doing that? What led you? Now I know you both were in healthcare, right?
We're both registered nurses.
Okay,
So
awesome. Thank you.
We have worked every role of nursing, from being a caregiver, nurse supervisor, administrative of nursing homes, nurse consultant. So definitely we have a love for seniors, but it hit home for us for our grandmother when she told us she didn't want to go to a nursing home and she needed care and she wanted to stay in her home.
Okay.
So that's how we started.
Awesome. So you guys are from Americus.
Yes.
All right. Tell us that story. So how did you get from, I mean, you went into the nursing career, you went into all the different things that you guys have done. And then so when it was time for your grandma to need some help, you guys decided this might be the calling, right? The calling for us to move into this area. Tell us how that worked.
Well, it was always our calling. As Jessica said, we have a passion for seniors. I've only worked with seniors since I was 22 years old and finished nursing school. So that was the calling.
Mm-hmm.
It just became an entrepreneur journey for us when our grandmother needed services and we couldn't find anyone to fulfill the need that we had for her. And all the years working in the nursing home, I never once met someone who wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to be there for some reason or another, and quite a few really could have been at home if they would have had someone who could provide some services for them. And so we just saw a niche. We saw a need, and it was really clear when it became grandma.
What were some of the needs that you noticed that were missing, that you could speak, hey, this is real now. No one thinks it's going to happen, but everybody's got a grandma, a granddad, it's coming.
A couple of things I would say to that. One is working in a nursing home, one of the first things I learned is, because most people think people go to a nursing home to die. They're going there to live.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of made a commitment myself. I was like, any senior that is going to be in my care, I want to do the best I can to make sure that they can live out their life as full as possible. And so, so what people don't kind of understand is when you tell a senior they have to leave home, it's really traumatic for them. And nobody really talks about it. It's almost like it's just a part of our life. Nobody really kind of plans for those steps. At least that's what we've seen, because we get a lot of calls from the family members, usually the children, and nobody's planned for those next steps. And mom or dad has fallen and, maybe have broken something this time, and now they do have to go to a nursing home. But that process is traumatic for them. And what I saw through our grandmother is that she just wanted to get out of her bed and go into her living room and sit in her recliner chair. And surrounding her in her recliner was pictures of her kids and grandkids. She used to take care of other people's children, so she had all their pictures in there too. And she had this floor model TV. They don't make those anymore.
Oh, I remember.
You remember those?
Oh, I used to have to
yeah.
stand there and change the channel for them.
She had one of those, and she wanted to see All My Children and Young and the Restless, and she loved Andy Griffith. So
Good
Matlock.
TV. Good TV.
That was her sanctuary. That's all she really wanted. And, so just seeing that and just knowing, and I know we don't really think about it sometimes, but she built her life there. All her memories were there, and it's really hard to leave. So if we can keep them home, because what I've noticed also on the flip side, if they're in a facility, it's a little different, because it is a facility, and you have staff that are trying to take care of, sometimes 20 plus people. And so even the best ones, you're not just going to get individual care because it's not individual care. So, I guess I'm just giving you a little insight into what that world looks like.
So here's what's crazy is like, we're all going to be seniors one day. Why is it so neglected always until the last minute? I mean, is it because we try to just, push it off like we're not going to get old one day? I mean, what do y'all see from your perspective? Why do people wait so long to create something like what y'all have been able to create? I mean, this has been going on for the last, 15,000 years.
Right.
So, I mean, why do you think it's taken so long to bring innovation to senior care?
Awareness, education. And again, I think people just don't think about it. They're just living life, going through life, and when it happens, I'll deal with it, and not planning for it like we plan for anything else, our 401k, our retirement, even for death. We plan for that, right? But no one plans to be taken care of. What happens when I can't take care of myself? What do I want my last days, or when I get older, how do I want to live out those days? Nobody's thinking about it. They're just thinking about right now. And so we work hard to do education, to go out and do speaking events, and to talk about long-term care insurance and how you can plan to be taken care of in your senior days.
So let's go back a little bit. You said this turned into an entrepreneur venture for you guys. And is that something that you wanted to do from a young age, or was it just triggered from this situation with your grandmother?
You want to hit that, Jess? Because I think I was 29 and Jessica was getting ready to turn 21 when we became entrepreneurs. And what we found out, though, in our family, we're like a third generation, like 3 generations before us were entrepreneurs. But in our family, nobody talked about it. And so, even though we walked in it, it wasn't planned either. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's I think we were just destined to get into entrepreneurship, like Eshonda said. Our family, we didn't look at it as entrepreneurship and the glitz, the glamour that, people portray now. It was just hard work, good work ethics, and, just get the job done. And so it really played off with us now, because we're hardworking, we're passionate, and it doesn't feel like work because it's something that we love to do. It's our purpose, it's our ministry, really, and why we do what we do.
Yeah, being an entrepreneur is a big roller coaster, and I'm sure y'all have seen that, and y'all have built something very, very awesome in a fairly short period of time. I know it doesn't feel that way to you, right? Just like with us and our team. What are some of the lows that y'all have hit that really hurt as an entrepreneur? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you have a lot more freedom, right? But you have a lot more responsibility too. What are some of the lows that come to mind when you think about the journey over the last 15 years?
Again, it is the responsibility, right? It's not just me thinking about what I can do for me and my family. We have employees, we have seniors that are depending on our service, and that's a lot of weight. And when sometimes the money is not mathing to what we have to pay out, and the responsibility of, we got to make sure our employees can do what they need to. They're relying on this paycheck. And so sometimes, the real fact, not being able to cover payroll. That's a challenge in entrepreneurship and running your business, and waiting on funds to come in, but still having to pay out and meet obligations. And so just the weight of the responsibility and making sure that you live up to what you promise. And we know the effects when we don't go out and provide a service. And so just being able to make sure we have the right staff that have integrity, that's going into these individuals when we were doing in-home care, going into their homes, providing a great service. Our core values are honesty, professionalism, passion, caring. And so we have to make sure we hire the right people to be able to do that and to be able to make sure that our brand and what and our mission is carried out.
How many team members and how many locations do you guys have throughout South Georgia?
So just a little bit about our journey. So we used to do in-home care. That's what we started out with our grandmother as our first client. And we actually sold that in 2019. But before we sold, we had over 100 caregivers. Wow. And I guess to your question about lows of entrepreneurship, I don't think I would call them lows. I would call them opportunities or pivots. That's the way we've handled them. And so when we had to pivot, when we sold our home care, we really kind of got into real estate. So we, in fact, we call ourselves, we've been going back and forth whether we're going to call ourselves the Chick-fil-A of senior care or the McDonald's of senior care. And that's funny because we just found out, though, that McDonald's still is the largest real estate holder in the world.
That's the way Ray Kroc designed it.
Yeah.
15,000 locations.
Yeah. So, Jessica, you said we were going to be called what?
McDonald Filet.
I like that. Chick-Donald's.
Yeah. So when we got into real estate, the pandemic changed a lot of things, and a lot of people were really, the nursing homes were full, the hospitals were full, and so we started buying properties and turning them into personal care homes so that people could still live out in the community. It didn't feel like a institutional feeling. It was still in the community. It looks like a home that me and you would live in. And so we picked up like 18 of those. And as to date, we have like 27 locations. Either we own them, operate them, franchise them, or lease them to someone else to start their own senior care business.
Man, that is cool. That you guys are killing it, and that's exciting, and I'm happy for you. As you guys are entrepreneurs and you're business people, and you guys are keeping your eye on what is needed out there, what do you do personally? Like, who do you associate yourself with? What books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? Because we got a lot of business people that watch this podcast. Blake's mom is the only person that really watches religiously, and Mom. I appreciate that. Good to see you, Ms. Cook. But all the people that are listening, that we love to just share with those people who are watching and listening what you guys do. What do you do to stay sharp?
Or even mentors
that
are in your life.
Yeah, we've always had a mentor since day one. We have been so blessed in that way. And we've had different mentors throughout our journey, and everyone has had something different, or they had what we needed at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we had the kind of mentors where if we needed to meet someone, they would bring us together. It wasn't just talk, it was making the connections. And so mentors have been valuable. We've joined what do you call the group that we're in now?
Mastermind.
We're in a mastermind. We have a mentor now. Her name is Dr. Tracy Lynn. I think she sold her business for over $100 million. So we keep getting mentors that can help us as we grow and see different challenges in our business. And the power of that mentor, I think, it's like a ceiling breaker. Mm-hmm. It likes they tell you some of the things that they've already been through that we're getting ready to go through. So it's like when we see it, it's like, okay, they told us about this. We're ready for it. And so it is so much power in mentorships. It's so much power in being around like-minded people, because we're from Americus, Georgia. Actually we're from Cobb, Georgia, but nobody know where it is on the map. So we say Americus, and it's a really small town, and so it's important for us to be around like-minded people so we continue to grow and feed into us, like you said. Yeah.
And our saying is our network equals our net worth. And so we want to be in rooms, bigger rooms, where we're not the big fish, and that we can gleam up and we can learn, and we're always being poured into, so we can pour into to others that look up to us.
So going back a little bit too to the senior care stuff, there are other senior care businesses out there. What do you think that Innovative Senior Solutions brings to the table that has a little twist to that senior care offering?
It's interesting you saying that because we have another mentor that used to work for Chick-fil-A, and one of the things that he was just telling us, he said, guys, he said, don't try to build big, try to build better. And so that's what we've been working on. We want to have better facilities. We want to have great activities. We want to have the best nurses, the best team. We want to have great systems. You know, these are all the things that we're working on, you know, from a business perspective, so that the experience can be the best experience. We know who our clients are. They're seniors. They're, you know, seniors can start at, actually start at what, 62? 62 and up, but we know where our sweet spot is. And so knowing who our client is, number one, and making sure that we serve them the best that we can. Just, I don't know what you would add. Jessica's probably the one for this question because she's the caretaker of the company. So what would you say? Or the heart, let me say she's our heart.
You know, it's our purpose. It's our ministry, and so it's more than a business to us. We started this business because of a need, a personal need, and we wanted not only for our grandmother, but for anyone that needed our services, that came in contact with us, got the same service and the quality that we gave our grandmother. And so it's, you know, it's just what we do. It's the why for us. It's the impact. It's the purpose. It's servitude for us. And so we love what we do, and we wouldn't trade it for anything. And so we just want to make impact and be able to do that nationwide. And so that's why we do what we do.
How important is it that you're hiring the right people? Because, I mean, you want people to go with you that are going to be impactful. You don't want to hire somebody that you're going to have to fire in 30 days. How important is it that you are on top of the human resource?
Team is everything, you know. That's they're the ones that are out there doing the work, providing the care, making the brand what it is today. And so team is everything. We put a lot in on the front end because we want to make sure we're bringing in people who have our core values, who is not just looking for a job, but is passionate about caregiving, passionate about serving and helping others. And because we can teach you a skill, that's no problem, but we want to make sure character is important to us, and what we do, serving and helping others, that's what we look for, and that's what you know, that's most important for us.
If I had to add to that, I think how we stand out too in that area is that even in our orientation, to us, it's about leadership skills. It's about understanding our why and our purpose. I don't know if you guys heard of the Welch Grid, but we even teach that in orientation. The Welch Grid talks about superstars, deadwood, cheerleaders, and terrorists. And we're looking for those people that we need to get off the team. So that is so important to us to make sure they have that training. We do bring in professionals to do leadership training with our caregivers, and most people do that for their management team. Well, we do that for our front line, and so we're always giving them education, things that make them stand out. So I think that is one of the things that we do. We develop our team. We put time. We invest into our team.
Like Tracy said, we have a lot of business owners that listen to this podcast, so I'm going to ask you a business question. So have you ever hired the wrong person, and how did you handle that situation? I mean, obviously we're not naming names, but you know, when you have that many employees, obviously at some point, you know, inevitably you hire, quote, the wrong person. How do y'all handle things like that internally?
I think it's about your system, and so we have a progressive disciplinary system We want to make sure we're following that, and that is what we do with our team when we find out we have someone wrong, that we've hired someone wrong. First, we want to make sure they know they're doing something wrong, or whatever rule or policy they have violated. We want to make sure they know that. We sit down and talk about it first time, second time, it becomes written. Every time we always review that same policy that you violated, so they know if it gets to the point where they're terminated or no longer a part of their team, it wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
And so that's really how we handle that. As we've gotten older in business, we try to do that quicker. Whereas in the beginning, I think we held on way too long, for many reasons. But now we do that, move on that quicker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, our core values is non-negotiable, and so when we identify it, we have to get them off the team because we cannot negotiate our core values. That's how we hire. That's how we make business decisions. That's how we have to fire people, and so it's just non-negotiable for us.
Yeah.
At this point.
Hire slow and fire fast, right?
That's it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, you mentioned systems, and that's how we met. I know processes and standardization is very important to you guys. Why? Go deeper into why standardization is so important in your line of work.
I can remember when we started our business, and I want to say around, because when we first started our business, me and Jessica were still working as nurses, and then when we both came on full time, and we were like swimming, the business just started to grow, and it grew so fast. And we looked up, and it was like over $1 million, like 3 years later, but we were having all these growing pains and headaches, and we didn't know what to do, and we was like, something has to be done here. And so happened we met somebody from the Small Business Development Center, and we went through their Grow Smart program here in Albany, and that program was like life to us. And one of the things they taught us was about systems. I think we read the E-Myth book. I think we had read Good to Great. We learned financial literacy through there. So it was just giving us life. And when we finished that Grow Smart, we took time out. We wrote our mission, our vision, our core values. We wrote policy and procedures. And after that, we doubled in growth. So that's how important it is to have systems.
And also, with our systems, we want to be a globally known agency, company, business. And so with our consultant arm, we help other individuals start their business, and we know the importance of systems and making sure they don't have to reinvent the wheel, the things that we went through, the trials, the hardship, the hard knocks. We have systems, and now so where it took us 3 years to get to that profitability and to have those systems and get over those growing pains, now we can help individuals enter into this space and do that within 6 months. They don't have to go through that. And so systems is so important, and so we want to help other people enter in this space and not reinvent the wheel. So.
And then systems too, as a business, because I know you say it's a lot of business leaders. Systems has helped us sell a business. Systems has helped us acquire businesses, and systems are going to ultimately help us, sell again. So it's important to have systems.
Amen. Amen. Are y'all the type of people that work 24/7, or do you kind of shut off at the end of the day and this kind of my time? It's kind of hard to do as an entrepreneur anyway. But tell me about your personalities and how you work and what it looks like. Do you turn off at 5 o'clock, or is your phone on all the time?
I think when we first became entrepreneurs, we were probably that 24/7 person that you just described. But we've read books, and we've been to conferences, and we've been in rooms with people who don't always do that. And so we have purposely worked not to do that. I have 5 kids. I have 2 adult kids, but I have triplet girls that are 7. And so I really work to turn off. Really, my work day now ends around 2. We do some things after 2, but for the most part, we kind of shut off. And then we've worked really hard to have systems and people in place to run operations, so that we can work on the business and not really working in the business. So that's how I would answer that. Just what would you say?
I think you said it. Yeah, we have, through the 16 years, we have, went through stages where, we had to be that person. And so now with growing and scaling and having systems and teams, we know the importance of where we're trying to take innovative senior solutions. And so having those individuals there and being able to work on the business and not in the business is our strategy. And so, and even if we do work, we have built that where we can work when we want, how we want, and where we want, and with whom we want. And so that has been our goal. And so we can be in Anguilla on the beach, and we may be working, but we work when, where, and how, and with whom we want. And so, yeah.
High five.
I love that. How long did it take you guys? Are you doing the consulting wing? You're running your businesses successfully. How long did it take you guys to get out of that imposter syndrome? A lot of entrepreneurs suffer from that, right? Hey, I want to be the best. I think I'm the best, and now people are asking me for my advice. When do you turn that off? It was kind of hard for us and our businesses to say, maybe people do want to hear what we say, because I've always like, nah, they don't want to hear what I got to say. Was that a struggle for you guys?
Not really, because even before we started our business, I did that for another company. I was a nurse consultant. So I was teaching. I guess I've always been doing it, I had history doing it. And so, of course, when we started our business, the focus was getting the business running. But once the business became stable, really once we sold and pivoted and started doing, I think we've done everything in senior care, going to different conferences, joining different associations. You kind of know when it's time, right? And so I don't know what Jessica would say to that, but.
Yeah, I think it wasn't until, we sold our business, because I guess I was so focused on making sure that we lived up to what we did. And so now and being in those different rooms and hearing and saying, oh, well, we've done that. We have the proof. And so being able to, have the proof and other people validating you, like, well, I can do that. And so it, just getting the confidence to say we are worthy to be able to help others, because we have done a lot that a lot of business owners have not done that are in the business, and just, seeing the stats of, the percentage of, like, only 6% of business owners that ever reach 6 figures. Mm-hmm. And so that number goes down for 7 figures. And so we've accomplished those things. And so we should be able to share and help others, get to where we are and where we're, and beyond, and where we're trying to go as well. So getting that confidence.
I want to add to that too. I just thought about something, Jessica. Me and Jessica had the opportunity to go to Dartmouth to School of Tuck. Is for minority business owners. Mm-hmm. And we had this class one day. It was like 30 entrepreneurs in there. And the instructor told us, these were the only instructions she told us when she walked in. She said, she gave us this sheet of paper. She said it had like 30 questions on it. She said, you guys have 25 minutes to answer these questions. And she turned the starter on, the clock on. And so at the end of the 25 minutes, how many people had all the answers? Nobody. And she told us, we failed miserably. And she said the class that got it right was the class where someone stood up and said, what do you have? Mm-hmm. What do you have? What do you have? And she was showing us the power of working together. Yeah. And after we left Tuck, we knew then, we want to be a nationally known company, but we're not going to be able to do it ourselves. Right. We're going to have to help other people do what we do. and be able to touch more seniors. And so that was really the start of that for us, and it was really when we started doing it.
That's a great story. I mean, who thought? I mean, when you're sitting there as a student, you're like, nah, maybe I shouldn't ask everybody. But now you took that with you, and you've inspired others, even us, right? Ask the people in your network.
Yeah.
Why is integrity so important? I know that's one of your core values. Explain why integrity is such a big part of your business.
Oh my gosh, it is so important. It is so important as you grow. And the reason I say that is because as you grow, you start seeing things dangled in front of you, but you've got to be able to have that internal, that internal, core value to say no. And so it's so important to have that, even small and even big. And so that's just a value that we started with. In fact, when we started with our core values, what we did was we listed the things that we did not want to see in our business. And then we turned around and wrote the word that was opposite of the things that we did not want to see in our business. Wow. And that has been the guiding light for us. Oh, yeah.
Usually in a business, especially in a partnership, right? Somebody told me one time the only sinking ship is a partnership, which obviously is not true.
Thank you, partner.
Usually, though, with a successful business, you have two partners with two different personalities. Tell me about your personalities. And usually somebody's like more of a visionary, somebody's more of an integrator or a manager. Tell me how you split that workload and how you see it internally.
We're just that. I'm more the visionary. I'm more of the business side, and she's the heart. She's the one that's going to make sure the care is provided, and it's going to be provided to the best possibility that it can be provided, and that's how we come together. I know as a visionary, I see a lot of stuff, but she will bring it down and say, well, maybe we just, let's start here. And so it's always kept us in a really good balance because of that.
Pulling each other out of the ditch on issues. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Knowing your role and knowing what you're best at. And so I don't try to get in her lane and vice versa. I know my strengths, and that's what I do in our business. And what's not my strength, she has it, and so it works.
It seems like y'all work really well together and understand each other. Obviously, y'all have been in business together, but usually somebody has more energy at a certain point in their life. Like Tracy knows if I walk in and I'm at 15%, he's going to have to carry me 85. I never talk good about Tracy to his face, but we understand each other in that way. Do y'all feel the same way? Like sometimes you have to carry each other's workload. Sometimes maybe you're under personal stress or something like that.
I think we show up for each other. I mean, definitely, we're partners. We're sisters, and so this goes. Is definitely deep. I know that she always will have my best interest, and vice versa. And so that's. I have no fear. I have no doubt. Most partnerships are not. Family is friends, so it can be broken. And so we have something that runs deeper. And so we will never let business things of that nature come in between, what we have as a family. And so she always have my back. I always have her back. And so wherever we're slacking, yes, the other one will definitely pull up and do what needs to be done. And so that's the joy of being able to work with my sister and my business as my business partner as well. So I know her.
What were y'all like as kids?
We didn't get along.
You did?
Isn't that crazy?
I don't even remember her coming up. I was 8 years older than her.
Yeah.
I don't even remember her coming up.
I told on her all the time. Like, whenever she got out of line and she wanted to do something,
oh yeah,
I had her by the
Yes.
So my brother's 9 years older than me, and he's like, I didn't even know you or become friends with you until you were an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you're running this business together. You see each other all the time. That's good though. You got each other's back. I think it's great. And, you can move that train forward.
Do y'all have hobbies outside of work? And what's your favorite thing to do outside? Maybe to escape, or maybe just for fun.
That's always the worst question for us. We're working on it.
We're working on getting a hobby.
We love traveling. We had a chance to go to south of France, and I think we really enjoyed seeing other cultures and eating the food and seeing how the people lived. And so if I had to have a hobby at this point, it would probably be that. I told you I had triplets, right?
Right. That
So,
is
takes
currently
up
the
a lot
hobby.
of time.
I don't have much time on my hands.
They have hobbies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I think my hobby is living my best life. My best life for me is on the beach, vacationing, in the spa. That's my hobby. I know it's not good. I know that's not like a real hobby. I'm working
it
on
is.
those
That's
things
mine,
too.
too.
That sounds
But
great.
that's what I love to do.
I want a hobby one day. That sounds like a
You
good
have
place to
couple.
start.
You have a couple.
What advice would you give somebody that's starting out? It doesn't matter what the business is, right? You got to work hard. You got to show up. You got to pay your dues. What advice would you give somebody?
And this is to a business. Someone
Yeah.
starting a business. Number one, have a business plan. Do your research. That's number one. Number two, get a mentor. It's priceless. And number three, learn to read your financials. First of all, have financial statements, and then learn
Amen.
to read them.
Oh goodness, I would just say do what you love to do, and so it'll never feel like work. Make sure it's something that you're passionate about, and you're gonna do the work, right? You're gonna make sure you show up. You're gonna do all the things that you need to do, but don't ever do it for money, for fame. When you go into business, it's to solve a problem, it's to be a solution, and so when you do that, just make sure you keep that at core. That it's your passion, it's your purpose, and you'll do great things.
Going nationwide's kind of a big deal, right? Y'all are the you call it, the Chick Donalds, right?
McDonald filet.
McDonald filet.
Sounds better.
So, what are the next steps, and what does the vision look like to carry something like that out?
So 7 years ago, maybe, we wrote our BHAG, our Big Hairy Audacious goal, and it said something like,
In 20 years, ISS will be a globally recognized corporation, setting standards of innovative caregiving through comprehensive senior networks touching every household.
and
Wow.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah. So wrote that 7 years ago, and every year we're getting closer and closer and closer. We're pretty much all over the state of Georgia now. I'm pretty sure in the next 5 years, right now we are the largest adult day center owner in Georgia, and in 5 years I think we're going to be in a pretty good place where we can hopefully partner with a larger equity holder to take it nationwide.
Very cool. Just like you said, you got to surround yourself with the right people and good people. What's it like being women in business? For the listeners, I'm not female, so I would not know. What's it like, and how is it different? And are there additional challenges and or benefits to being women in business today?
I'm going to say my experience, and I'll let Jessica talk about hers. For me, my mom was the basketball coach in Americas, and so, but we lived in Cobb, and so when I went to school every day, because she had to coach, she couldn't always pick me up, and so there was another teacher that lived in Leslie, and she was a white woman, and she used to pick me up because her daughter was there, and I spent a lot of time with them. I ate dinner with them. I played with her kids. She treated me like I was one of her kids. And I think that experience blessed me so, because as I became, as my career took off, as I became, even before my entrepreneurship, I was always in a room where I might have been the only female, the only black female. But because that experience, I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know, so I think it kind of prepared me for that. And so to answer your question, I feel like I need to be in the room just like everybody else. And I don't know if it's because I felt comfortable because of that experience or what, but I think so.
It's awesome.
I don't know. I mean, of course, everything has its challenges, but you know, when I just look at it as I'm my own, I put the limits on myself, and so no one else can do that. And so I guess being an entrepreneur, being our own boss, you know, we make the lane, and so no one can limit us, because what's in us and what's for us is for us. And you know, we just live by the biblical principles. What's for me is for me. And so you know, even though, you know, it's all these things about, you know, men, women, minority, you know, we walk in our own lane. We make it happen. And so if it whatever we have to do, we have to go above, around, we're going to get to that destination. And so I see no issues with being a minority, a woman-owned, black-owned business owner. There's no limit.
Well, there's no doubt that all of us at this table have been extremely blessed with the experiences we've had. And to be able to come together, you know, as entrepreneurs, I think is fantastic. And it's also important, like you said, and for our listeners, I think the biggest thing is kind of iron sharpens iron. Don't always be the smartest person in the room, which for me is very, very easy, right?
Same.
So it's very important to get in front of the right people. And I think what y'all have built is insanely awesome, and you should be extremely proud.
Thank you.
We're happy you spent some time with us today, and we do appreciate that.
We do have a little game we're going to play, though.
Before we let you go, we always play this game with our guests. It's called First Class or Bus Pass. And we'll give you an example. Blake, first class or bus pass the Atlanta Braves baseball team?
I would say first class.
Okay.
I mean, they've had their struggles over the last 20 years, but in the last 3, they have proved themselves to be something, and they're going to be great this year again.
All right. Okay. So if
So
you love
first
it,
class
if you love it,
or
it's first
bus
class. If you want to just say skip it, it's bus pass. So first thing out of the gate, long meetings. First class or bus pass?
Bus pass.
Amen.
Come in with an agenda,
Oh.
hit that agenda, and we're out.
Level 10, baby.
We don't practice that, though.
Sometimes they do.
We try.
They get a little lengthy. All right. Another one, sushi. Just sushi in general.
Bus pass.
Uh-uh.
That's not like
For real.
no.
How about
We
you?
did have some good sushi in Las Vegas one time.
How about
Remember
that?
I don't think it was the real thing. It was like the California.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I don't know. It's not the.
My favorite sushi comes from a gas station just right outside of Leslie. I'm kidding. Walmart delivery.
First class.
First class.
I love it. If I don't have to get out and go in there, I love it.
I haven't been to Walmart in like 3 years.
Amen. I like Walmart.
To the
I like
store.
I just like it when they come to
it
me.
just comes to me. Yeah.
I've got one. How about Chat GPT?
I'm getting ready to hire somebody to teach me first class. From my understanding, I hear it's going to be a game changer like the internet was to us many years ago. So we're getting ready to learn it.
It's amazing.
I love it. It helps you write anything. Anything.
Oh, well, we need a tutorial.
Oh, yeah. We'll do it. We got some people in the next room that can help you. All right. This is the last one. And I guess I went way too heavy on food, but it's just what I do. Waffle House.
First class.
All right. Me too. I love it.
What's your go-to on the menu?
I get the sirloin
Oh, yeah.
and eggs. I do.
The
How about
sirloin
that?
is way better
Than
than
it
people
should be.
think. And
Yes.
actually, it's like
Yes.
grade A beef.
And
People
you know
don't
their
realize
their
this.
chicken breast is awesome too. They buy some of the highest quality chicken breast ever, but the sirloin's good.
Yeah.
Eshonda, Jessica, y'all are amazing. I wish you the best of luck. You don't need it. You work really hard, and y'all are going to go nationwide very soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank y'all. Come back again soon.
Yes, we'll love to.
Thank you for having us, and we have enjoyed, and we thank you all for helping us to get to the nation, to be nationwide because of the system. So thank you all.
To find out more about our guests, Eshonda Blue and Jessica Wright, visit their website at innovativesenior.solutions.com. Today's show is brought to you in part by Due Process. Standardize, onboard, and optimize. Click or call today to see how we can help take your business to the next level. DueProcessUSA.com. Process is Everything is a production of the Levy Studios. It's the right thing to do. Visit thelevystudios.com for more information. Subscribe to Process is Everything wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Process is everything.